memorializes all of those students' names. And now I would like to take a moment of silence while I read the names of the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting and the victim of the Maryland school shooting. Alyssa Oliduff, 14. Martin Duquesne, Anguiano, 14. Nicholas Suarez, 17. Jamie Gutenberg, 14. Luke Hoyer, 15. Cara Loughran, 14. Gina Montalto, 14. Joaquin Oliver, 17. Elena Petty, 14. Meadow Pollock, 18. Helena Ramsey, 17. Alexander Schaffner, 17. Carmen Shentrop, 16. Peter Wang, 15. Geography teacher Scott Beagle, 35. Coach Aaron Weiss, 37. Athletic director Christopher Nixon, 49. And Jalen Wiley.
Run if you can. Hide if you can't. If neither, fight. The fighting isn't to save you. It's to save the next class, the next hall. It's to give them a couple more seconds to get there, to stop it. I'm a child, a teenager, but I'm also a bulletproof vest, a diversion, a fighting chance for the others, hope in the form of a distraction. I am blood and flesh, but I need to be Kevlar and fabric. Minimal casualties, minimal children dead, minimal little girls and boys, minimal college applicants, minimal honor students, and minimal teachers and coaches, but not none. The Constitution doesn't allow for none. That document is living, but will I be? This poignant poem, Bulletproof Teen, was written in response to the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School shooting on February 14th, 2018 in Parkland, Florida. The shooter took the lives of 17 people that day. Katie Howd, the poet, is a junior at Rockland High School in Rockland, Massachusetts, outside of Boston, and an organizer for the March for Our Lives Boston. Good morning, Fort Worth. I am Lillian Scott, a junior at Paschal High School, and an organizer of the March for Our Lives Fort Worth. To remember all those lost to gun violence and to remind our elected officials that our lives and our safety should be a priority. March for Our Lives is created by, inspired by, and led by students across the country who will no longer risk their lives waiting for someone else to take action to stop the epidemic of mass shootings that has become all too familiar to us. In the tragic wake of the 17 lives brutally cut short in Florida, politicians are telling us that now is not the time to talk about guns. March for Our Lives believes that the time is now. Katie Howd's poem, Bulletproof Teen, illustrates the horror with which children and adolescents all across this country have had to face and for which many millions more have had to prepare. Gun violence has a devastating impact on American children and teens. Nearly 1,400 American children are shot time to demand action. The effects of gun violence extend far beyond those struck by a bullet. Gun violence shapes the lives of millions of children who witness it, know someone who was shot, or live in fear of the next shooting. Now is the time to be bold. Gun-related deaths are now the third leading cause of death for American children. Every day, an average of 4 children are shot and killed, and nearly 19 more are shot and injured. Now is the time to stand up. This is a uniquely American problem. Compared to other developed countries, American children aged 5 to 14 are 14 more times likely to be killed with guns. And American adolescents and young adults aged 15 to 24 are 23 times more likely to be killed with guns. Today, we say no more. We realize the path will be rocky. We realize we may sometimes feel alone, but we persist because we have courage. I leave you with the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. Courage is more exhilarating than fear, and in the long run, it is easier. We do not have to become heroes overnight, just a step at a time. Meeting each thing that comes up, seeing it is not as dreadful as it appeared, discovering we have the strength to stare it down.
Hello, my name is Lolita Kunamnani, and I'm a junior at Marcus High School in Flower Mound. Thank you for coming out. Over the course of today, 7 teenagers and children will die from gun violence, as they did yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. And politicians will continue to do nothing, day after day, and there will be no change. The number of children dying will only continue to rise from this inaction. But today, we say no more. No more of this inaction. No more of this needless death. No more of our blood spilt because politicians want more money to finance their campaign. No longer will we tolerate this cycle of endless violence. The thing is, these deaths, Sandy Hook, Stoneman Douglas, Great Mills, never should have happened. They are preventable, and that's the truth. A universal background check should be implemented as the logical first step in the process of obtaining a gun. If I need a background check to volunteer at the public library, it should be a given that I need a background check to access an object. It's the cost hard. But in Texas, that's not true. If a gun is sold through a private seller, there is no law mandating a background check. And consequently, these people are able to get a gun without even having the minimum glance to make sure that this person is mentally sound to own a potential weapon. In a survey released last year, 22% of gun owners got their last gun without having gone through a background check. That's every 1 in 5. I repeat, 1 in 5 gun owners that could have had any sort of history. And the person who sold them the gun wouldn't even know. Furthermore, it's not required within Texas for law just want to clarify one thing. We don't and never have wanted to take away all of your guns. But there is a time when we must stand up and say that there's an urgent and unrelenting need for restrictions, and that time is now. The lives lost because of gun violence deserve better than thoughts and prayers with no action. Our government stalls saying that this is a deep and complicated issue, and that's true. However, despite beliefs to the contrary, the debate always, at its core, remains this. Which one do you value more, the gun or the children? And no matter what your party is or anything else you believe, there's one basic truth that any person with a shred of humanity cannot disagree with. The right to own a military-grade weapon is not more important than the unalienable right to life. The government has picked the guns and the gun lobby over the lives of children, our lives, for far too long. And together we say, no more. We march today for everyone that has lost their lives to gun violence. We march today for the around 7,000 children who have lost their lives to guns since Sandy Hook. We march today because we are kids and we should not have to worry that when we go to school every morning that we might never come home. We may just be the children of today, but we are the voters of tomorrow, and our voices will be heard. Thank you.
We just wanted to let everyone know that after we march, we will be coming back to the courthouse, and there will be 3 more speeches to wrap everything up. So please come back because we really want y'all to hear our words. And thank you so much for coming out today. I wanted to say something about the chants that we'll have as we're walking. We're not allowed to use a bullhorn when we're marching. It's part of the city ordinance. So they'll kind of trickle back. They'll start at the front and trickle back.
Okay, so we're going to start. Just following behind us, we'll be carrying this banner up front. So let's march!
Let's do it! No one will take it. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Change is coming.
Change is coming! Change is coming!
Change is coming!
Change is coming!
You're right. This is what democracy looks like. Excuse us.
Okay, you can.
Check.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 No more! No more! No more! No more! No more! No more! No more!
You folks need to cry out to God. If you want protection, you want safety, you need to cry out to God. He's the only one that can protect you. He protects the upright, the righteous. But right now you look down, and calamity is going to come on the heads of the wicked and sinners. If you want to be protected, you can cry out to God. You can cry out to God without down the other. Any God is not a right person. We need to be
Don't work too hard, fellas. Why is this important today?
So many reasons. It's our lives. We just want to live.
What's your name?
My name's Lillian.
Spell your first and last name for me, Lillian.
Lillian. I don't want to give out my last name.
That's fine. No worries. Thanks.
Gun control! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Gun control! When do we want it? Now! Gun control! Now! What do we want? Gun control! Now! Gun control! Now! Now! Gun control! Now! Gun control! Now!
Tell me why you're out here today.
What democracy looks like.
That's okay. You don't have to. All right.
No more kids! No more kids! No more kids! No more kids!
Tell me why you're out here today.
Because we're fighting for our rights to live.
What's important about this change?
That we have to protect every future generation and all our kids.
Students' lives matter. We're getting shot up for no reason, just because somebody wants to take guns.
What are your names?
Catalina Lopez.
Spell it.
Tatalina.
And yours?
Subhecha, Subhecha.
Last name?
Niraula.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, keep up the energy. We're not done yet.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Everyone keep moving this way because everyone's trying to figure out so we gotta go over this area.
Rail in to the left side of the lawn completely empty.
We're gonna wait for everyone to file in and then we have 3 more speeches.
I need it. God bless you.
chanting throughout the whole. Dude, I feel like if I was quiet,
Is it cool if I start another chant?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Ready, everybody? Books, not bullets! 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 Books, not bullets!
Speaking into it a second ago. Okay, which one should we do now? We never did school zones, not war zones.
Everyone, if you're coming from marching, come this way because we have a lot more room over here. We want you to all be able to hear the 3 speeches, quick speeches that we have that are all important to hear. So just move this way so everyone can hear. Thank you.
I have a sweat mustache. I'm all drenched. Wait, were people yelling? I'm watching a story.
Okay, I'm gonna start. What chant can we start?
all the ones. So wait, this is yours and this is Lucy's. Okay. So we have all. It's okay. I got chaps. Okay, so we have your. Okay, we have all the speeches up here. So Delaney, you can use them. Everyone's still.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out.
Vote them out! 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 Vote them out!
Vote them out! Vote them out!
Vote them out! Vote them out!
Where? Right there! In the green sunglasses.
13 and 10 months, go find them and register to vote, because it is very important that every student here today votes when they are 18.
Hey guys, so our three more speeches are going to start in a few minutes, but we just wanted to let you know that if you post any pictures on any social media today, to please tag at @MarchForOurLives_FW, and also please use the hashtag #MarchForOurLives and tag March for Our Lives, the national movement. Thank you.
Oh, whoops. If you're on Twitter, tag us at March for Our Live without the ES 7. So, okay, we go. All right, we're going to speak in, right? Speakers. Yeah. Okay.
Now we're doing the three other speeches things. Okay, here's Delaney Pavel.
Hello everyone, my name is Delaney Pavel. I go to Trinity Valley School and I'm currently in 11th grade. Public speaking is something that I have never really done before. The fear of judgment from others is something that has controlled me my entire life. But recently I have been inspired by the students from Parkland, Florida and their bravery for making their voices heard. So I've decided to use my voice as well to hopefully inspire others who may not care or have an opinion on the issue of school safety. In preparation for this speech, I simply Googled the phrase, "children in fear of school shootings," to come up with some speaking topics. I pressed search on my keyboard and I was shocked to see more than 6 million results giving advice on topics like how to help your kids cope with fear of going to school, how to make sure your child is safe at school, or how to raise children in the era of school shootings. As I scrolled through each page, I became more and more disappointed. School shootings have become a norm in our society, and children are being forced to live through a vicious cycle of emotions while trying to succeed in a place where our safety is not guaranteed. I feel like everyone in my generation can remember the first time they felt unsafe going to school. For me, the whole situation was not a very serious deal, but it'll be pinned in my memory for the rest of my life. I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and our teachers locked us in the gym and wouldn't tell us what was going on. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. I remember being confused, having a pit in my stomach, and feeling very uneasy. It wasn't until after school that we were told that there are high schoolers in the park directly across the street with guns, but no one was hurt and they did not officially enter the school. Even though there was no physical damage, my naive and childlike mindset that school was a safe haven where I could thrive and expand my knowledge was damaged significantly. As the years passed, I regained my confidence in going to school until the Sandy Hook shooting when I was in 6th grade. I remember crying with my friends, being scared and embracing each other and being so thankful that we weren't the victims. About a month later, we forgot about Sandy Hook. We stopped watching the stories and thinking about the victims. We just accepted that it was unfortunate and there was nothing that we could do. This past year, I visited the Columbine Memorial in Colorado. I was 15 at the time and more exposed to the epidemic of school shootings. I tried to imagine my classmates, my teachers, and my coaches' names on the plaques with flowers set out and poems written about them so I could attempt to understand the effect of a tragedy like this. It was easy to imagine, but somehow it still didn't feel real. The names on the walls were always still strangers to me. I was so used to reading the headlines and watching the news and seeing people struggle that I had simply become numb to the fear that I once had. It was not until the Parkland shooting this year that I realized it is necessary to be scared again. Sometime over the years, as these shootings have continued, we have been desensitized to the topic. And if you are not scared by the fact that children are dying and it is still not a priority for our government, then you are not paying attention. What came as a shock to me years ago in elementary school is now considered normal. While we are already accustomed to this, children are being robbed of an adolescence and being forced to worry about what they would do if their school was being shot up. I do not want children to have to experience the cycle we have grown up with. I do not want them to think this is normal. I do not want them to have to change the way they live their daily lives because of fear of going to school. I do not want little girls asking for new shoes because a shooter would be able to see her light up sneakers easily, or students trying to buy bulletproof vests to wear to school. It sounds crazy, right? But believe it or not, these are actual responses from students as a way to protect themselves from the fear in our country right now. Our job is to go to school and learn, but how can we do this when the leaders of our country cannot figure out their differences and protect us? How many times do we have to wake up to another school shooting in order for our government, the people designated to defend us, to wake up and realize that our generation's safety needs to be prioritized? Thank you.
Let's hear it for Delaney. Hi, everybody. My name is a doctor. We need a doctor over there. Anybody, please?
Standing up.
Over there. Make way for this woman coming from the left, please.
I don't know, but just keep saying by the trees. On the right.
From the
right.
left.
It's on the right.
The woman is on the right.
Right here. Someone call an ambulance. Okay, I think so.
Can somebody please call an ambulance?
Anybody? Part, please, part. Wait.
Guys, make room.
Please part over here by the trees.
By the trees. Please make room.
Don't be scared. Your speech is still going to be amazing. Well, like, I'm saying.
Nope.
Okay, are we all good? All right, let's try this again. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Alana Miller, and I'm a junior at Carroll Senior High School in Southlake, Texas. I haven't even started yet. Okay, so I was born in October of 2000. Columbine was in 1999. So I've grown up in a generation of school shootings. My life has been shaped by violence on campuses and reactive militarization by local governments and school districts. My parents always tell me that they'll remember exactly what they were doing during 9/11. Well, I'll always remember where I was during Virginia Tech, during Sandy Hook, and now Stoneman Douglas, because these are the events that have shaped my life. As a student, each instance of a school shooting renews the same feelings: iciness, stinging, fear, loss, but these same feelings don't seem to extend to lawmakers, because that's why we're here, right? School shootings must be normal in the eyes of our legislators if to this date not a thing has changed. Growing up in a generation of school shootings means that since kindergarten in school we've practiced drills to prepare for the presence of an active shooter. I've done drills so many times that they become an expected part of getting an education. Cowering against the wall in the dark as school administration bang on the door and yell to simulate the real experience has become so regular, I'm surprised it's not included in the course description. Growing up in a generation of school shootings means that I've gone to school surrounded by police officers. When my school district voted to employ school resource officers, an ambiguous alternative to soften the fact that they're armed officers regardless of what you call them, at each and every campus, I didn't feel more secure in school. I had never been around guns before, and I couldn't help but notice the one strapped to Officer Wilson's waist every day. It seemed so out of place in an environment made up of almost entirely children. But now I walk past our SRO without even flinching because it's become my new normal. Growing up in a generation of school shootings means having to wait for somebody inside the classroom to let you in because teachers have taken legislative inaction into their own hands by forever keeping doors locked. It used to be a nuisance, but now it's just our new normal. Growing up in a generation of school shootings means listening to your classmates' fears about going to the pep rally on Friday because all of us are going to be in one big room together, and that makes us so much more vulnerable. Growing up in a generation of school shootings means watching teachers throw away school supplies to make room in their cabinets for kids to hide just in case the worst ever happens. This shouldn't be normal. Growing up in a generation of school shootings means hearing kids in the hallway comment on the fact that Nicholas Cruz was intercepted by the police, hearing them say, "I could do better, I wouldn't get caught," and not knowing just exactly how normal that's supposed to be. When we as a nation become desensitized to gun violence, when we choose changing the lives of our children over changing our own laws, we ignore the problem at hand. We send the message to the youth of America that they are the ones who must speak up rather than the adults who have built the country in which we now live. It is impossible to fix a problem if you aren't aware there is one. Making active shooter preparation a part of young children's lives teaches them that there is no solution. It teaches them that they must accept and even expect these circumstances. It teaches them that this today is their normal. But when we become numb to killings, we should only expect more blood. Our current approach to school shootings is the equivalent of bubble wrapping our classrooms and expecting that will prevent tragedy. We're trying to normalize the reactions that we're having to these atrocities by controlling the environment rather than the weapon. But I refuse to accept this as normal. You can't fight fire with fire, and you can't cover me in armor because I shouldn't need it, and I don't. I believe that I'm strong enough on my own to go to class to do homework, and if something is threatening that, you don't change what I do. This is the only reality I've ever known, and frankly, I'm ready for a new one. Enough is enough.
Good afternoon, Fort Worth. My name is Dakota Rudzik, and I'm a senior at Keller Central High School. I've been an activist for what's going on 2 years now, and this is one of my proudest moments. Seeing all of you out here gives me more hope than ever in the next generation. Today, all of you have taken the first step to not only transforming your future, but the future of every American who has ever feared for their life and their place of education. Right now, youth all across the nation are sending shockwaves across the world. We march today for our lives, and we stand today with the hope of a brighter future, not only for us, but for our children and our children's children. We stand united as our voices echo through the halls of Congress, and we imprint our legacy inside the history books of tomorrow. I'd like to thank you all so much for sacrificing a few hours of sleeping in today to come march with us. Your presence says a lot about your character. As a child, I was taught that monsters do in fact exist, and they look like people. Every day you walk around and you pass a monster and you never know it. This lesson has become more relevant throughout my life. This year alone, we have had 17 school shootings, and it is only March. The monsters among us are shedding their disguises in record numbers, and we are paying the price. We have reached a critical point in history. Will we let this nightmare continue, or will we defang the beasts who look to do us harm? The issue of gun violence is one that representatives on both sides of the aisle have neglected. Representatives that have gone back on their promises to represent their constituents and instead represent the highest bidder. To any DC representative who claims to be on our side, show us the legislation. Show me the bills you have introduced to combat this crisis. We have had enough lip service. We demand action. Any member of Congress who has not personally proposed meaningful legislation has failed you. You all know that this country can do better. So get out and demand more. Martin Luther King Jr., a great inspiration to me and an even greater American hero, once said that the arc of moral history is long, but it bends towards justice. You have to be the ones to push that arc towards its final destination. Do not call it quits after today. Do not go back to school on Monday with the notion that everything is all right, because it isn't. Unfortunately, you don't know if it could be your school tomorrow. We are all taking great strides today, but there is so much more to do. I beg of you, do not let today be the last of your action. Do not let today pass and fade away. This is step one and the first step of many for some of you. We desperately need you right now. While members of Congress have all but given up on legislation before the midterms, we are still dying. Every week we are slaughtered, and unless all of you do something, inaction will once again become the norm. But after today, I can't see us ever taking thoughts and prayers as an excuse ever again. The gun lobby claims we are wrong in, quote, politicizing the murder of kids, but they know full well that there is no other option left for us. I shouldn't have to jump every time I hear a loud noise in the hallway. We were all forced to grow up too fast, and those at the top still have the audacity to tell us that we are too young and immature to confront this issue. I look around at all of you today, and I too call BS. Enough is enough. No more dead children, no more school shootings, no more inaction. Join me in taking even more strides towards the future we long for. If you are of age, go register to vote and show up to the polls in November. If you have an idea for future action, or if you want to start your life of activism, come speak to me after this and we'll make it happen. Together, we can build a new world. One that we are proud to call home. I can't thank you enough for coming out today. Keep on fighting, keep on dreaming, keep on making change. Thank you.
Say thank you again to all of our speakers.
So I can't thank you all enough for coming out today. This really warms my heart and it gives me a lot of hope for what's to come. I couldn't have said it better than Dakota. That was a great call to action, and truly you are a small part of something a lot bigger than you, and you need to play your role in democracy and power to the polls. On the note of voting, could David Bennett, Ashley Caldwell, Katisha Mercado please go to the voter registration table to finish the process of registering? Lucy and I we've worked so hard to make this day happen, and we were so inspired by the students from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that created the March for Our Lives movement. We did not know that this would be such a big event, and I can't tell you how excited we were when we saw all of you coming to march today. We can change our state and we can change our country, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Like Dakota said, go out, register to vote, and when November comes, be there to vote. We can change Texas, and we can change our country for the better. We thank you all for coming out today. This was such an amazing day. It was super empowering. And if you want to come talk to us after this about how you can advance your political activism, we welcome everybody, and we will be there to march. Yeah, I mean, just thank you.
Also, I'd like to say, this is on a different note, but we are responsible for our own trash, so if everyone could just pick up after themselves, don't leave your signs or water bottles or anything. Thank you.
Have a great day.
My speech is gone. Oh well. Oh my gosh.